Oh, hi there. My name is Y.K.T.V. I have been a resident in the United Arab Emirates for the last 16 years, and it has been a beautiful, remarkable experience. Career-wise, I like to think of myself as somewhat a tech evangelist. There is one role that completely blew my mind. Last year, I worked for a UK startup company that is focused in the healthcare sector. And for the first time, I experienced hospitals and healthcare like I've never done before. This time, I was not a patient, but I was actually part of running the system that provides you excellent healthcare services. As a result, I learned so much. From stem cells to mental health, the impact of artificial intelligence on healthcare, and the fact that Dubai has promised to go completely digital in healthcare by 2045. How are we going to achieve this? That's the million-dollar question. But before we get there, to ensure that you can navigate the healthcare system in the UAE effectively, I have rounded up some of the amazing doctors in this country who are going to join me in a conversation on this podcast to educate you, empower you, and of course, a little bit of entertainment. We're trying to make healthcare a little bit light-hearted, not so serious. Join me as I embark on this journey to learn the expansive universe of healthcare and how the UAE stands out in the globe from everybody else. Again, my name is Y.K.T.V, and you are watching What the Hell? Hello everyone, my name is Y.K.T.V, your self-proclaimed storyteller here in the UAE, and in 2024 I have decided to add another mission to my cap. Over the last few years, I've found myself having a knack for the information that we have across the healthcare sector. This was of course triggered by some of my career experiences, and the knowledge that I then encountered during that job experience was immaculate. And I was like, we have to share this with the whole world. One of the specific specialties that definitely caught my attention was cosmetic and aesthetic care. And today, I am so happy to be launching this project with one of my very good friends, also Dr Suriya. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me, Yvette.
I appreciate you supporting me on this journey, and obviously, we have a lot to talk about. Our conversations have always been very educative and informative, and each time I talk to you about something, I'm like, oh, my skin is doing this. Is this normal? Is this aging? I feel like my skin is drooping, and how you always empower me as to what I can do to ensure that I stay youthful. I felt it's not fair for me to keep that knowledge to myself. Why don't we just share it with the whole world? Because I know one, besides you being an amazing aesthetic doctor, you like making women feel beautiful.
Yes.
Fantabulous. So welcome to the show. You are watching What the Health. Great. How has your week been like? How's your morning today? Before we get into the reason why we are here, how are you feeling?
I was pretty excited for this show that we're going to have.
Okay.
And I found it a little difficult to sleep because I was calculating, thinking about what we're going to speak today.
Wow.
I woke up early for this.
Okay.
And was stuck in traffic for a while.
Tell me about it.
Dubai traffic.
And I think as much as I lament about the traffic, sorry to digress, I think traffic is also a great indicator of how the economy is performing.
Yes.
So sometimes I'm upset about it, but I'm like, at least that means things are heading in the right direction, to say the least.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, great. Thanks for, allowing us to do that. So first, to kick things off, I want to just get to know Suriya a little bit before we get to the healthcare side of things, because of course before there was doctor, there was you. So I'm just going to ask you a few quick fire chat questions. Don't think about it. It's very simple. Okay?
I hope I don't give the wrong answers.
Don't worry. It's all about you, so you can never be wrong about yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Ready?
Yes. Okay.
What is the one color you can wear for the rest of your life?
I guess that would be purple.
Purple?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like a dark purple.
Ooh, I like that.
It brings out royalty.
I like that. Yeah. Royalty. Okay. Gun to your head, what would be your last meal?
My last meal? That would be last night.
Mm-hmm.
But don't remember what that was.
Okay. So if this was your last day on earth, what would you want your last meal to be?
Oh, that would be steak.
You love steak. Medium rare, well done. What's your style?
Medium rare. 'Cause I don't like it chewy. I need a little bit of, a little bit of bloody meat.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Okay. If I was to go into your makeup purse right now,
Okay.
what is the one thing that I would never miss?
Lipstick.
Wow. Interesting. Okay. Now I feel like we've gotten to know you a little bit. Now we can go deeper into who you are and what you do. So do you want to formally introduce yourself now that we have a little bit of an understanding about your personality?
When we first met,
Yes.
you met me as a doctor.
Yes.
Met me for Doctify.
Correct.
But we connected instantly.
True.
And to be quite honest, I decided to become a member of Doctify because of you.
Oh, I'm honored. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Yvette. After our meeting, our
Yeah.
initial meeting, we vibed a lot.
True.
Right? And I feel the other side of me would be the person Surya. So as a doctor, I'm working in aesthetic dermatology.
Okay.
I'm focused on making women feel beautiful in their own skin.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
not about
that.
changing themselves, but just enhancing what God has already gifted them with.
Wow. I love that. I absolutely love that. Okay. Wow. That explanation has left me dumbfounded. Absolutely beautiful. Okay. Cool. So just to take it back, walk me through your early life before you went into aesthetic dermatology. Have you always wanted to do this, or in another world, what would you have been if not medicine?
If not medicine, I always wanted to be an astronaut.
Big dream.
Yeah, that was a big dream. So I found out the easiest way to become an astronaut would be to become a doctor.
Wow.
Because that was limited to my understanding at that point of time.
Okay.
Because, the dawn of the internet happened very late.
True.
For me.
For me too.
Yeah, but I'm not that old.
Thank God we don't look it.
No, we don't. So anyways, I thought, becoming a doctor would help me because, the spaceships, right? That's what they call it. Every team should have a doctor.
Correct.
So I thought, that would be really easy for me to become a doctor and then go into space. But then once I got into the medical field, I decided I'm going to become a surgeon.
Wow.
So that changed.
Okay.
So then cardiosurgery was my next goal.
Hearts. So from space to hearts.
Heart. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
And then, family life happened and I realized, what, surgery is not for me because a surgeon's life is, surgeons don't have lives.
True.
Personal lives, family lives. It's really, you get calls, emergency calls in the night, and I don't want to do that when I have a child. So then I thought about what's the next best thing. So we have space, that's really beautiful, and then we have the surgery that's like combined with my artistry. I thought, you know what?
Wow.
Cosmetic dermatology.
And it's so funny because even the word cosmetic has cosmic
Yes.
in it. So it's like you combined your passion for fixing hearts and your love for space, which is like infinite. And you're like, voila, cosmetic.
Cosmetic, yeah.
Amazing. I love that connection. That's such a beautiful story.
Thank you.
So at what age did you discover that you want to do this? Like, I'm going to go into cosmetology.
That would have been maybe like 6 or 7 years back.
Okay.
But before that, I was very much into doing makeup. As a kid, I would style my own hair, and I would notice that other kids my age weren't that interested in styling their own hair and doing makeup and all that. So I was always into cosmetics. But cosmetic dermatology is something that I really didn't know existed. Until recently. I didn't look at it as a profession, you know. But in Dubai, when I finished my medicine, worked for a few years in Bangalore, and I came to Dubai, there is this training institute that reached out to me about aesthetic medicine. I was like, hey, aesthetic medicine? What is that?
Exactly. Walk me through that if I'm a 5-year-old and I'm completely clueless.
Yes,
What is that?
that's exactly how I was. What is aesthetic medicine? Because and then I would go into the health authorities portal and check what is aesthetic medicine, and that's how I realized that, hey, you know what? Even though it is not actually accepted as a field of medicine yet,
Really? I had no idea.
yeah,
It is not like officially a field of a specialty?
no.
Okay.
It is not identified as a specialty of its own. It
Okay.
is a subspecialty of dermatology.
You know, you're already 10 steps ahead, because I was going to ask you, is there a difference between cosmetic dermatology and general dermatology? So thank you for answering that already.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, clinical dermatology is where we identify what a person is struggling with. Is
Okay.
it pigmentation? What is the cause? What's the root of the pigmentation? Is it loss of elasticity, loss of facial fat, volume? So, it always starts at a proper diagnosis. So, we do have a base of clinical dermatology,
Okay.
which then we integrate with medicine and cosmetics.
Interesting. I had never understood the whole background and breakdown like you've just educated me right now. So, is it safe to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, I could be a clinical dermatologist and I know nothing about aesthetic dermatology? Is that a right assumption?
Well, for starters, maybe some of them who come into the field of cosmetic dermatology might need to start building on their knowledge about clinical dermatology, identifying diseases,
Okay.
you know, the root of a disease.
Okay.
You know, if you have a person with a really bad pigmentation disorder, it could be because of diabetes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. The
It
body
could be
is...
because... I'm so sorry. I
No
interrupted
problem.
you.
It's okay. It could be because... Please proceed.
It could be because of some thyroid dysfunction, some hormonal imbalance that the person has, and they have not fully understood. Thinning of hair, hair loss, all this could be rooted to a thyroid dysfunction.
Interesting.
Yes.
Cool. That is actually very fascinating, because my understanding of aesthetic care has always been very external, internal. So every time I've suffered from acne my whole life, cystic acne, I have polycystic ovarian syndrome. So as a result, excess oil and sebum on my skin. I hope my biology serves me correct. And I'm not making a fool of myself. So it's been an ongoing journey. But for the longest time, I just focused on buying products. And then one time I went for a checkup to the gynecologist, and that's when I discovered I have PCOS. And then she said that's probably what is triggering your acne as well. So before that, I had never made the connection that organs are connected and impact how they perform. I always just thought by cleansing, toning, moisturizing, I can manage this thing called acne, right?
Yeah.
So thank you for making that connection, because that makes a lot of sense right now.
Yeah. You know, skin is the largest organ of the body.
True.
So, if we do have any underlying issues, the first place we will see that is on our skin.
On the skin. So the
Yeah.
skin is a reflection of what is happening inside.
Yes.
Wow. Love that. Okay. Cool. So aesthetic care, you mentioned at the beginning that you are doing your research on Dubai Healthcare Authority to understand a little bit more about this. So at what point did the light bulb go ting and you decided, wow, this is what I want to do?
So, when I got into aesthetic medicine, it was because I was tired. You know, COVID. COVID was the point that made me realize that I need to go into a specialty of medicine where I can relax, I can take care of myself and take care of my patients, you know, in a very different way, not working in the ER or the ICU, you know.
So intense medicine was not for you as much.
Yeah.
Okay.
For my heart. For my heart.
For the love of the heart.
Yes.
The girl who wanted to be a cardiothoracic surgeon. She didn't have the heart for that.
No.
Okay.
So I decided, that's when I realized that, you know, if I needed to have a good work and life balance, then, and I'm a fun person. I've always been a fun person.
That's true.
If you went to the university where I studied, you would, meet a couple of my friends. What they would say is that, Surya, oh my goodness.
Life of the party.
Yes.
Nice.
If you had an event, people were dancing there, I would be in the middle of it.
Nice.
I would want to dance.
I'm pretty sure you were doing their makeup as well.
Yes.
You see?
If someone's singing, I would want to be in the middle of that. If there's a football match, I am not a footballer.
Okay.
But I would be on the cheerleading team. I was everywhere except the classrooms. I would just attend classes to fulfill my attendance, but my studies, everything, I was banking on myself.
Wow.
Yeah, I would read all books really quickly.
Okay.
And I would store it in my head.
Retain the information.
Yeah, retain, yes.
Amazing. You're like my mother's dream child, because academics were definitely not my forte. I've always been more of the social clubs, so drama, debate, music. And when it came to academics, actually, I do think if I was encouraged accordingly, I would have probably ended up in the healthcare field, maybe not as a doctor, in the support and operational part, because I did enjoy how the body works. Like, I feel like the body is so infinite, just the way you talked about cosmic place and such stuff. And I think indirectly, probably now, the passion I had for biology is showing up in What the Health. Yes. Okay, let's
I like that name, What the Health.
Oh, thank you so much. What the Health? So, fast forward to the pandemic, you said this is the point where you realized that you wanted something more chilled and relaxed, and you wanted something that allowed you to make people feel beautiful. So that's when you fully decided to go into aesthetic cosmetology? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
So when I got into cosmetic dermatology, I started attending the trainings, and I realized that, you know what, there's a fine line between doing cosmetic dermatological procedures on the patient in an artistic way and doing it just because the patient asked for it.
I get it.
It's all about proportions. Yeah, the golden ratio. We need to assess the patient's face and see what she likes, because my perspective of beauty is very different from every client that I meet.
Very true.
So if I don't align with her goal for the procedure, I might be setting her off for a very unsatisfactory result.
And not only that, I can imagine the unsatisfactory. It's not just the result, but it will impact your confidence, your mood, how you show up. And your face card is the first thing that people see. So it's a question of how do I want to look, and not what the doctor thinks is right for me.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Interesting. Great. So let's just go into the neck of it. I am specifically interested in understanding my skin as I age, because, of course, I'm trying to be on TV for another 25 years. So as a 36-year-old African female, what can I start doing now to ensure that, for lack of a better word, I'm reversing my age?
Taking care of the skin has 3 really important steps that we have to follow.
Okay.
One is the foremost and the most important one is sunblock.
Okay.
We have to protect ourselves from sun's radiation.
There's in some corners and quarters, I've had rumors that because of our African descent and we have the melanin in our skin, that the melanin actually acts kind of like as a sunblock because it helps with mitigating the penetration of UV rays. So is it a correct statement to say that Black women don't need sunscreen?
All humans need sunscreen. In fact, we are the only animals who need sunscreen.
Wow.
Yeah. Sometimes I wonder if we are really inhabitants of the earth, or we've been brought from some other planet.
I've thought about it too.
There is no other animal on this earth that requires sun protection.
I've never had sunscreen for animals. Very true. And I've never had because the lion is outside in the jungle all day, the skin is saggy. Never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Okay.
So that number one is
It's
sun
a-
protection.
Yes, but coming back to what you were asking, sun protection is for all people.
Okay.
Everyone needs sun protection. Yes, it's about, there are two things that can happen when we face the sun. Either
Okay.
we could get burnt now,
Mm-hmm.
or we could get burnt later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's two kinds of reactions, redness and there's tanning.
Uh-huh.
So when we have our skin is able to produce more melanin, that means yes, our body can protect us from the sun's radiation now.
Now.
But it's not about later. Once we have a lot of melanin, all people have risk for cancer, risk for aging.
True.
But melanin does help us in some way. We don't age as
As
fast
fast.
as someone who has type 1 skin.
Okay,
You
got
know?
it. Okay.
Yeah.
So sunblock is number one. You said there are three things.
Yes. So the three things is sun protection, hydration,
Hydration.
and good sleep.
These are very simple things.
Yes.
So this, you're trying to tell me if I am constantly protecting my skin from the sun, I am drinking water and minding my business, and the last one is sleep. Like already I'm doing I'm safeguarding my skin to look youthful for a longer period of time.
Yes.
That is amazing. Okay, so if I'm doing these three things from a medical perspective, what else can I then do to ensure that
So first of all,
I slay?
yeah, you're already slaying, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you're so good for my ego. Thank you.
Thank you. So, first of all, as humans, and because our life now, we are very busy, we have work, we're stuck in traffic half of the time.
Tell me
right?
about it.
So we forget hydration. This is very important. We might not forget using a sunblock in the morning. We might even use sunblock later in the day. But hydration is something that people always forget.
True.
Yeah, and some people skip hydration, like I told you,
Yes.
cardiac surgeons.
Yes.
Yeah, they
They can't drink water because
yes,
they'll pee in between surgery.
surgeries.
Yeah.
Yes, so our lifestyle has reduced that.
Hydration intake.
Yes.
Okay.
So in aesthetic medicine, hydration is something that we can implement into your lifestyle. Like, once in a while you could meet, like once in 2 weeks or once a month, you can come in for a IV hydration drip. Yeah, we can hydrate your skin by using a little bit of skin boosters, intradermal fillers, just for hydrating the skin. You
Okay.
know? So these are things that we can do when you have a busy lifestyle, how to care for your skin in addition to what you're already doing. But the base would be that you hydrate your skin well, you use adequate sun protection
Okay.
multiple times a day,
Okay.
and you sleep well.
So what's like a good duration to sleep if I want to look youthful for a very long time? What's like, is it the average 6 to 8 hours that we read about, or beauty sleep is actually a real thing then?
Yes.
Aha.
So, what they say, men can go with like 7 or 8 hours of sleep.
Yes.
But women need more than that, at least an hour more than men.
Because
We need that to, get all our mitochondria fired up for energy,
Interesting.
and mitochondrial repair is what is so important for our cell health. If our tissues, our skin has to glow, and it has to look young. If you want to look young,
Okay.
sleep is really important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Cool. Okay, so obviously noting the fact that we are currently in Dubai, and one of the reasons why I started What the Health is that I realized we're in a country where we are blessed to have insurance policies that allow us to world-class facilities and healthcare when we need them, right? What are some of the common procedures that you feel are trending right now, for lack of a better word? And out of those, which one is your favorite? Just to...
So trending right now would be Botox. Yeah, the millennials are more aware of how to care for their skin, and they actually look at Botox the way it's supposed to be looked at.
Okay.
That is prevention.
Prevention.
Yes.
Okay.
Botox prevents aging.
Okay, so for someone who is clueless about Botox, I don't know what that is. I just know that when I come to see you, tell me, do this, and you're like, you have amazing skin. You don't need Botox yet, even though I'm struggling with acne.
Yeah.
What is Botox? Like, what is the main chemical? Is Botox a brand or a chemical? Like, I'm clueless. Like, talk to me.
Yeah, okay. So you got it right.
Okay.
Botox is a brand.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And the content is botulinum toxin. Botox belongs to the company Allergan.
Okay.
They're like the founders. Yeah.
Okay.
So it is a patented product.
Mm-hmm.
Botulinum toxin for Allergan is called Botox. Now coming back to what is botulinum toxin, it is it's a byproduct of bacterial cellular function.
Okay.
Yeah, and botulinum toxin can actually paralyze our neuromuscular junctions. Just to simply put it,
Yeah, like you just made me go dizzy with those big words that I'm pretty sure I can't even spell. Okay, simplify it for me, please.
okay, so simplified, what Botox does is it would stop those muscle movements, those excessive muscle movements that forms the lines
On your skin.
Yes,
Okay.
because this activity over long time, then the lines would become deep. So before at the beginning you would have dynamic lines, which then stay for a long time and become static lines.
Static. So are static lines like permanent? At that point, you can't fix them.
Very rarely we can fix them.
Okay.
If it depends on the depth of the line.
Okay.
If the line is very superficial, they are fine. We can fix it with Botox itself. But you need to start Botox early.
Okay.
It's not something that you can delay. Once you have you have deep lines and then you come in and say, I want to fix it with Botox, I would say, you know what?
Too late.
Yes.
Sadly, it is what it is, sis. And thank you for sharing that, because I started seeing Botox in a lot of Hollywood shows, but then it was always this like high flying marketing director in a magazine company like Vogue in her probably mid 40s and 50s, getting an aesthetic doctor to come into her office to fix her face.
Yeah.
So you're telling me at that point it's probably too late and we need to start earlier on because it's more of a preventive treatment.
Yeah. So when I say preventive, preventing from where we start.
Okay.
So obviously, if a woman is coming to me at the age of 45,
Okay.
and she probably has like a deep line here, and I would still go for Botox because
Okay.
we don't want to make it any further worse, you know. And I would try to fix the deep line with a little bit of skin boosters, maybe do some other treatments, you know,
Okay.
like we have microneedling with radio frequency.
Okay.
We can rejuvenate the skin, we can do fractional laser, we can as well use a little bit of filler here to fill. If it's too deep,
Okay.
there are methods to safely inject filler in the forehead as well. Yeah.
Okay, so now you've led us to another treatment that is a buzzword that I see everywhere and I'm completely clueless about what it is. We've understood that Botox helps you to prevent the aging from the lines and everything.
Yeah.
What is a filler?
Okay, so filler, the name as the name suggests,
Okay.
fillers is something that you fill space with, right?
That is it?
That's it, yes.
For real? That is
Yeah.
the most simple medical terminology I've ever heard.
Yes.
Like it says what it does. So it
Yes.
fills a gap.
Yes, it just fills a gap.
So if this is like a concrete block and there's a gap and there's another block, filler is what I would put in between to connect them.
Yes.
Is that a safe analogy?
Yes, but that's just one of the many things that fillers can do.
Aha.
Where you place the filler is really crucial in deciding what's the outcome of the procedure. So if you want a lifted face, that's one way to put the filler. If you want a contoured face, that's another way to do it. You
I
know?
love the way you're just answering, giving me more questions to ask you. Lift and contour.
Yeah.
What's the difference, like in a nutshell? So lift, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm assuming is to push the face up to reduce the sagginess with aging.
Yes.
Is that safe?
Yes.
And contour would be
Build
highlighting
the structure.
Aha.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So see, you are really blessed with a very good facial structure.
That is the first thing you told me. And to be very honest, since then, my confidence has just gone up.
Yes, and I still stand on the same, point.
Thank you.
That you have a very good facial structure. And some women, they have good facial structures, but they want to enhance it.
Okay.
Right? They want to build maybe a cheek contour. Maybe the cheekbones, which we call the zygomatic bones, are not that sharp. Maybe they like it a little bit sharper.
And it is a common trend right now to be more snatched and fierce
yes.
and contoured. Yeah.
Not everyone has the time to do the makeup.
True.
Or maybe people don't prefer to do makeup. Maybe they're not that good at it.
Yeah.
So if we can just enhance the structure a bit with filler, there are very safe fillers.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like back in the day when there used to be permanent fillers and
Yeah.
now we have hyaluronic acid fillers that play really important roles in lifting, structuring, and the goal of doing fillers these days is not to fill a person's face and give the cat woman look. Yeah. It is just to replace. If you have lost any fat from your face because of aging, because of recent weight loss.
I can relate because, of course, when I met you, I was slightly bigger. And then when I lost weight, I lost a lot of mass around here. Yeah. And I noticed it's genetic because my mom had it as well.
Okay.
So perhaps maybe one day I'll come to your clinic and then we can walk through my face and you can tell me how you can help me stay snatched.
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
See, in your case, because you do have very good structure, we do not want to fill more. It would be just to control the movements of these muscles.
Okay.
In your case. So Botox is not just for the upper face.
Okay.
We have it for the lower face as well. Yeah?
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just for some women, just treating the muscles of the neck could stop the pull of this muscle
down.
Yeah.
Because it's so funny. Many years ago, I went to a club. And we were 8 women. Okay. And this guy was able to pinpoint the lady who was underage. So I was so curious as a guy, how did he know? And he told me she had the tightest skin on the neck.
Yes.
I had never thought about it that way. A bouncer at a club said that. He's like, she had the tightest skin. You can always tell a woman's age by her neck.
Yes.
Wow.
You know why that happens? Because most of us, we care for the skin on our face a lot. Serums, toners,
cleansers,
sunblock,
moisturizers,
yes,
everything.
Everything. The best face wash. And then you've got just soap, just shower gel here.
I feel attacked. That is definitely me. Thank you. I'm discovering this.
That used to be all of us
in
at one
this
point.
Big age.
Yeah, but no, now it's you can start now.
Okay.
You would still have a snatched neck for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
So our neck, the skin on our neck needs all the care that we are doing for the face as well.
Okay.
Even our hands. These days, people are noticing face, neck, and hands.
That is actually very true because I realized you're the one who told me this.
Yeah.
And then let me try and remember our conversation.
Okay.
I've always had dark knuckles, right?
Yeah.
And I think they've become more pigmented that I'm in Dubai right now. And unfortunately, where I come from, there's a very big skin bleaching culture. So a lot of times people assume that I'm skin bleaching because obviously the knuckles are the last thing that eventually bleach, even if you're using sophisticated methods like glutathione. And then you told me, start wearing gloves when I'm driving.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, Dr. Suriya, I have seen the change. You told me, and I remember correctly because I was like, wow, that was mind-blowing. You told me that the skin on my joints is the weakest. And when I'm driving, I'm exposing it to intense sunlight. Yeah. So that area would obviously be black and I should wear sunscreen and gloves.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Because I used to hold my face and people used to think I'm 2 different people.
Well, that's the same case with me as well.
Uh-huh.
Because my face is a lot lighter than my hands.
Okay.
Like I said, the damage that we have given to our hands is a lot more than the neck.
True.
Yeah?
True.
So we've ignored it. So obviously our skin on the hands have learned to pigment more.
They've adopted.
Yes.
Adapted, yeah.
Yes, they have adapted. Now that's what's trending here in the hands. Yeah. There's a whole pigmentation culture going on in the hands. It will be really difficult for us to turn that,
around.
Yeah.
And that's why people age faster in the hands as they grow older.
Yes.
You start to see more visibility of the bones because the skin has thinned out.
Yes,
Is
the
that
skin
safe
has
to-
thinned out, the fat has reduced,
Okay.
all that. But that being said, coming back to my job,
Yes.
is to fix that.
Okay.
Yeah? So we have hand fillers, we have skin boosters, we have skin boosters that actually can correct the pigmentation, but we would have to go in for sessions.
Okay.
Where we are actually telling the genetics, the cells over there, to, hey, you know what, stop. Take a break for 2 weeks. Take a break for 2 weeks.
Relax.
Yeah. And I'll see you after 2 weeks.
I'll see you after 2 weeks again.
Yeah, again. And just to remind this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, cool. So we've talked about Botox, which you've educated me on so much. We've talked about fillers, which I
Yes.
think is phenomenal that it does what it says.
Yeah.
So what would be your number 3 treatment that you feel is common right now?
IV drips.
IV drips.
Yes.
Okay.
People are realizing
Mm-hmm.
the importance of IV drips. Lately, I see a lot of millennials
Mm-hmm.
who have figured out the
The secret to youthfulness.
the secret to youthfulness, to energy. Yeah.
Energy.
Because all of us are so focused on our Instagrams and social media, and then we have work. At the end of the day, we are just too tired.
Yeah,
Right?
my dark circles have refused to abandon me. It's literally real estate on my face right now.
Yeah. So this fatigue. So the millennials have figured out that there's a way we can beat the fatigue, and that's through NAD drips.
NAD. What is NAD?
Remember in school when we have learned those Krebs cycle and things, we know the powerhouse of the cell is ATP.
Ah, yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So similar to that,
Okay, I'm
there's
lying.
another
No.
token of...
I just wanted to sound intelligent.
Okay, yeah, but you do.
Thank you.
Because you know a lot other than the
Yeah.
human body.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Thank you.
So coming back to this,
Mm-hmm.
so the ATP is the powerhouse of the cell.
Correct.
So just like that, we have another currency for energy, and that is NAD.
NAD.
Yes.
Okay. So the ATP would be the core of the cell, and then the NAD is...
No.
Okay.
The ATP is just a molecule
Okay.
that breaks down, and it gets reduced when the potassium. Phosphorus.
Okay.
When phosphorus unbinds from ATP, it becomes a smaller molecule, and it releases energy.
Uh-huh.
NAD is the same as well.
Okay.
With each reduction that happens with NAD, it gives us energy.
Okay.
So we have NAD drips.
Okay.
We have glutathione drips,
Yes.
which is also an antioxidant. Yeah.
Glutathione is a buzzword that has
Yes.
been in the market, I think, for the last 8 or 9 years.
Yes.
I hadn't heard of it before. Predominantly where I come from, there's this weird fad for being light skin. Like people with lighter skin, unfortunately, are considered aesthetically more pleasing. So is that the core reason for glutathione, like for skin lightening, or does it do a lot more than that?
See, glutathione initially came into medicine.
Okay.
As far as I have known,
Okay.
the IV drips for glutathione was given for people who are undergoing chemotherapy for cancer. I will just do that again, okay? Glutathione came into medicine to care for patients who are undergoing chemotherapy for cancer.
What?
Yes.
What the hell? I had no idea. So
Yeah.
how did it end up being a skin regimen?
So when they started noticing that when glutathione was given, it was given for as an antioxidant
Okay.
to help the body repair
During
itself.
chemo.
Yes, because chemotherapy is really hard on the
Kills
body.
all your cells.
Yes.
Everything.
It kills the cancer cells, and it kills
The proper cells.
the proper cells as well.
Yeah.
So we needed to help the body recover, the person recover, heal itself, to fight the oxidative stress that was going on. So antioxidant, that's what is glutathione. Yeah. So when they started giving glutathione, they started seeing that the skin was also improving, because I told you earlier, the skin is the largest organ of the body. Yeah.
This is fascinating. Oh my God. Okay.
Yes. And the side effect of the treatment was that the person was getting lighter.
So this is like, I've had a story, and I don't know if this is right or wrong. I had a story that Viagra was originally made for cardiothoracic purposes.
Yes.
But then one of the, I would say, side effects of Viagra is that it made men's erections last longer.
Yeah.
So eventually they then used it as a sexual enhancement drug,
Yes.
as opposed to a heart treatment.
Yeah.
So this is the same thing that happened to glutathione. Initially it was for cancer.
Yes.
And then people then started realizing the impact it has on the skin.
Yeah.
Amazing. Wow. That's exactly what's happening with Ozempic as well.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because Ozempic is originally a diabetic
medicine. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, Dr. Suriya, it's amazing how the body is just so connected.
Yeah, but let's discuss on this Ozempic and Mounjaro, because that's really trending right now.
True.
You know, diabetes, it's a circle actually. Yeah. Some people initially start with diabetes, then go into obesity, then cardiac issues. Yeah. So also, you could be obese, and that could lead to diabetes as well. Yeah.
That's the type 2.
Type 2 diabetes.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Type 1 diabetes, anyhow, we cannot treat with Ozempic and Mounjaro. It is mainly for type 2 diabetes.
Okay.
Did I say type 2 or type 1 first?
Type 2. You're good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So type 1 diabetes is a whole another, it's
Ball game.
autoimmune. Yeah. And it is, it's from childhood. Type 1 cannot be controlled with Ozempic or Mounjaro. But for people who have type 2 diabetes, they could be they could be going on a circle of obesity, cardiac issues and everything. Or you could have obesity, and that could lead to,
Diabetes and sugar issues.
Yes. So for people who cannot control their lifestyle because of, not that they don't want to, but because of stress. Yeah.
True.
I myself is someone who used
stress
to stress eat.
Me too.
Yeah, I have my best friend used to be food.
Me too.
Yeah. So for people like me, where eating habits is built around our stress and things, for those people it would be very difficult to maintain a healthy weight.
Correct.
And when the weight is not good, you could develop diabetes. And so in both instances, for the health of the person,
okay,
before the person goes into a metabolic shock,
okay,
yeah, where the body takes longer and longer to recover.
digest.
Have you ever reached that point in your life where you diet, you exercise, and
nothing changes?
Yeah, nothing changes.
Nothing changes. Even down to as deep as intermittent fasting.
Yes.
And nothing drops.
Nothing.
Because the body, I guess, has gone into metabolic shock.
Yes.
Okay.
The body is in a metabolic spiral.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
So that's where we recommend patients to start Mounjaro or Ozempic. Obviously, after assessing the profile.
So it's not safe to just assume that I'm fat, I feel like I want to lose weight, I can buy Ozempic.
No.
You need to get it prescribed.
Yes.
Okay.
You need to meet the doctor.
Okay.
You need to find out that do you have any other factors in your body that is a contraindication for using these drugs.
Okay.
It's the same for glutathione as well.
Uh-huh.
One thing that I like about Dubai, UAE, the health authority, like you said, where I come from, India, there as well, skin bleaching, with glutathione, it's trending.
Yeah.
And it's very popular. People don't say it out loud that they're doing it, but then it does happening. Yeah. It's been happening for a lot of years. Yeah. But here in UAE, it's very controlled. Yeah. They actually set parameters that this is safe, guys. This is safe. This is unsafe.
Okay.
Don't cross this.
Don't cross this line.
Yeah. Don't cross this line. So it's the same that applies for Ozempic, Mounjaro, glutathione,
and everything.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for walking through that knowledge. So now from a macro perspective, I feel because aesthetic care has grown exponentially, especially after the pandemic.
Yeah.
There was this interesting article that I read many years ago that said that men now are actually exploring more of aesthetic care.
Yeah.
And the reason behind this is because there was something called the Zoom boom in 2020. So technically what the Zoom boom is, it said that men traditionally are not big fans of mirrors. They just look at the mirror in a hurry, the belt is okay, quick hair check, perfume, and they're out. And then the pandemic came and we had to do everything online. So men spent a lot of time looking at themselves on a screen and they realized, my this, my that. So have you seen this shift where there's a higher influx of male people seeking your services?
Yes. In UAE, the population of men, it's... I have heard both, by the way. I've heard that women are leading in population and men are leading in population.
I know. The stats are always convincing. Confusing.
Confusing, yeah. I'm really confused.
Yeah.
But the last meeting I was at a Dr. Hub meeting called at Invicta Med.
Okay.
And there we had this speaker from Galderma who actually brought shine the light that there are more men who seek aesthetic procedures than women, but in reality in the clinics we don't see men actually walking in. But that could be because they are still, there are
shy.
Men. They are shy.
They don't want to be seen as slay kings.
Yes. But men, there are some services that are specifically for men. And there are some services that women, it's more popular among women. Hair transplant would be the most.
For men, that's definitely and I feel like as time goes by, because of lifestyle and the speed at which we operate now, I see 28, 29-year-olds already having balding hairlines. And I'm like, back then in the 90s, that happened like at 40, 50, So I guess we have to be, is it safe to say that at this point in the society we operate in, preventive care for aesthetic beauty is better than trying to cure it?
Yes.
For
sure.
Preventive
care is what we should be focused on, not once we have aged, hair transplant is something that is inevitable, but you can delay it if you care for your hair.
If you care for your hair. I like that line, care for your hair. Very nice. The UAE says that the beauty industry is going to grow by about 10% this year. The last statistic that I checked said that as of 2020, it was worth 500 billion.
Wow.
Right? Yeah. Obviously, this being a hub and the location where East meets West and the glitz and the glam, everybody also wants to look beautiful. Yeah. So I personally feel it's going to grow more than that, considering how beauty is constantly being propagated online and everything.
I selected the right specialty.
You are 10 steps ahead. I think you are living in the stars, and the stars gave you the first mover advantage. Well done for that. Bravo.
Thank you.
However, with this, of course, this being a booming market, and I say this with no disrespect, I find it very appalling when I see someone who has no medical background, just attended an online masterclass and is living in an apartment, let's say because of the beautiful view we are facing, marina, and is now doing botox and fillers. Let's talk about that.
Well, that is illegal.
It is illegal, right?
Yes.
And
a botched therapy, it's really dangerous because first of all, clients, you need to check where these people are sourcing their products from. For all you know, they could be filling the syringes with body filler. Because body filler is a lot cheaper than the filler that's used on the face.
So what is body filler? What is that made of?
Body filler is also hyaluronic acid.
Okay.
But the molecular weight and structure differs from the one that's in the face.
So it's used for the rest of the body.
Yes.
So it's the one that people mainly use when they want to make their bums bigger.
Yes.
Oh.
It's if you have hip dips, restructure it. But To be quite honest, the dip in the hip, if you go, one of my colleagues, she's a gym goer and she's very focused on health. Salma, hi.
Hi. Hope to see you here soon.
Yes. So I was discussing with her about this. So she said that, if you see a person who takes care of his or her health, you would always see, if she works out really well, there is no way you can get rid of the dip by going to the gym, because there is really no muscle there. So if all those gym goers who put those videos with the big butts, you know what you
they've
got
gotten
there.
some work done.
Yes.
Own it. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay. Okay, so sometimes they're using those body fillers for facial routines.
No, that's not legal either. But when you go to an illegal injector who is not licensed by the health authority, we don't know, they do not have the license to even purchase these products. So where are they getting it from? From the black market. Yeah. Are they stored correctly? Are they transported? Is it what it claims to be? So these are all questions. Are they doing the procedures in a very sterile environment?
Okay, let's even forget the actual doing.
Yeah.
What are some of the long-term consequences to, opting for a cheaper option in Marina instead of going to a qualified aesthetic doctor? What are if I go to Marina and I get a filler, and probably she's done a body filler, is it that in 6 months my face will fall off, or like I can sag more? Like, what are the consequences? What are the side effects of not doing it right?
So, it could be anything.
Okay.
Yeah. It could be that maybe you could get an infectious disease. Ooh. Yeah, because there could be a lot of sharing.
True.
There could be cross-contamination, right? So, infectious diseases, there are so many of them, and I don't want to open any...
a can of worms.
Yes,
but we get it.
That's one. Another one, you could have long-term, allergies. You could develop hypersensitivity reactions to something that you weren't sensitive before. Yeah. And it could be even worse. You could have cancers,
Say less. Say less.
People could develop cancers from the wrong kind of stem cell therapy, exosome treatment, all these things, what you're injecting into a person's face, that has to be trialed, tested. It has to be even regulated and approved by the health authority.
Okay.
So that's, after all this is done, that's when we inject something on a person's face. We do not want to do anything.
Okay.
Yeah, that is not safe for people. That's the first oath that we have taken. Do no harm.
Do no harm.
Yes.
Got it. As we head towards the end of our first podcast, because I know this is going to be the first of many, because beauty is a broad spectrum, right? How often do I need to come and see you? And I would say that using a statistic, as a woman above 35 years old, trying to ensure that I'm taking care of myself, to ensure that I'm aging gracefully, how often should I set a date with you, my aesthetic doctor?
It depends on if you have the time.
Okay.
If the person has the budget.
Okay.
Yeah. Some women have the budget. They have set aside every month, and they can give like every Thursday. One Thursday of every month. Yeah. Some people. So it depends. If it couldn't be realistic for you, if I told you to come in every month.
True.
Yeah. So as per your comfort. Yeah. And as per your goal, and as long as you're treating your skin, you're doing the 3 basic essentials. Yeah.
Sunscreen, hydration, and sleep. Yes.
You can come in when you feel like.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Great. This has been so insightful and informative. I've had so much fun. I know we're going to go deeper into more topics, because I feel like today we just covered the surface, the top level, and perhaps as we meet to have more inspiring, beautiful conversations, we're going to welcome our audience to even send in questions that then we can respond to.
Yeah.
So we're going to continue this conversation on our Instagram lives and on our Instagram stories, where we can, engage directly to answer more of your questions. And then once we build up like a couple, we can have another sit down.
Yes.
Any final remarks that you would like to share with us with regards to remaining beautiful forever? Any tips, any secrets?
Just the 3 basic principles:
Okay.
hydration, sun protection, and sleep.
Wow, Dr. Suriya, thank you so much for number 1 being our inaugural guest on What the Health. This has been phenomenal. I'm obviously going to be tapping your brain a little bit more because, we're trying to stay slayed.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for sharing and have a fantastic day.
Thank you for having me, Yvette. It was wonderful. I had fun as well.
Amazing. Until the next time, you are watching
What the Health?